Hello everyone, in this lecture we are going to discuss black body radiation. We are all familiar with the glow of a hard piece of metal which gives off visible light and whose color varies with the temperature of the metal, going from red to orange, orange to yellow, and from yellow to white as it becomes hotter and hotter. In fact, other frequencies to which our eyes don't respond are also present as well. What I want to say is that when you heat a solid object, it starts glowing and emitting thermal radiation. We are calling it as a thermal radiation because the radiation is mainly due to the temperature. So as you notice, as the temperature increases, the color that it emits also changes. It means that as we increase the temperature, the frequency of radiation changes. Or we can say that as we increase the temperature, the frequency at which intensity is maximum increases. And or in other words, we can say that if you increase the temperature, the wavelength at which intensity is maximum is decreases. In fact, all the objects surrounding to us radiates. For example, this page and this pen also emit thermal radiation because it has some temperature. The reason why we are not able to observe the radiation made by these pen or paper is that our eyes are only sensitive to visible region, but the radiation emitted by these objects falls in the infrared region. Therefore, our eyes don't respond to that radiation. But as we increase the temperature, it enter into the visible range, and we started see looking. We start our eyes start responding to that radiations. So we can say that thermal radiations emitted by glowing solid object consists of a continuous distribution of frequencies ranging from infrared to ultraviolet. The continuous pattern of the distribution spectrum is in sharp contrast to the radiation emitted by a heated gas. The radiation emitted by a gas has a discrete distribution spectrum. Simplest example of thermal radiation is the glow of a tungsten wire when current passes through it. So let me repeat, an object need not be so hot that it is luminous for it to be radiating energy. All object radiates such energy continuously whatever their temperature, though which frequencies predominates depends on the temperature. At room temperature, most of the radiation is in infrared part of the spectrum, and hence these radiations are not visible to us. Now let's introduce the black body. As we know that ability of a body to radiate is closely related to its ability to absorb radiation, and this is to be expected since a body at constant temperature in thermal equilibrium with its surroundings must absorb energy from them at the same rate as it emits energy. Body radiates energy either in the invisible form or in the visible form. Similarly, they absorb light in varying degree. A body that is good light absorber appears black. An ideal body that absorbs all the radiations incident upon it regardless of frequency is called a black body. This is how a black body is defined. A black body is a body that absorbs all the radiations incident upon it regardless of the frequency. In 1985, in 1900, in 1859, Kirchhoff formulated the following law of radiation. So, according to Kirchhoff, if a body is in thermal equilibrium, the energy it absorbs equals the energy it gives away in the form of radiation. This law can be mathematically expressed as E lambda T divided by A lambda T is equal to epsilon lambda T, where E lambda T is the emissive power of the body. Emissive power of the body. And A lambda T is absorptive power. And and this is the emissive power of a perfectly black body. Since this is the emissive power of a perfectly black body, so emissive power ratio of emissive power and absorptive power of any body is equal to the emissive power of a perfectly black body. This is in accordance with the principle of Kirchhoff law, and it also because of the definition of black body, that a black body is a body that absorbs all the radiance. Therefore, the absorptive power of an ideal black body is 1. Hence, uh, this this is the Kirchhoff law. This is the mathematical expression of the Kirchhoff law, which tells us that ratio of emissive power to absorptive power is equal to the emissive power of a perfectly black body. Since we have used the terms emissive power, absorptive power, so let me first introduce what is emissive power and what is absorptive power. Emissive power is defined as the energy emitted per unit area, per unit time, per unit solid angle along the normal to the surface is called emissive power. Similarly, spectral emissive power is defined as the energy radiated per unit time, per unit area, per unit solid angle at a particular wavelength. And absorptive power is defined as ratio of energy absorbed to the incident energy. And spectral absorptive power is defined as, for a particular wavelength, the ratio of energy absorbed to incident energy. So far, the discussion was mainly focused on the perfectly black body, we have concluded that a perfect black body is a material object that absorbs all of the radiations falling on it. Hence, it appears as black under reflection when it is illuminated from outside. The example of a black body is lamp black. Another important thing to note is that an object, if an object is in thermal equilibrium with its surrounding, it radiates as much energy as it absorbs. It thus follows that a black body is a perfect observer as well as perfect emitter of radiation. So, since the main property of a black body is that it absorbs all the radiations incident upon it. Therefore, in the laboratory, a black body can be approximated by a hollow object with a very small hole leading to its interior. Therefore, a practical black body can be constructed by taking a hollow cavity. By taking a hollow cavity whose internal walls perfectly reflect electromagnetic radiations. Means, you know that metals are good reflectors, So we can use a hollow metal cavity as your practical black body. This is a substitute. This practical black body is a substitute for ideal black body. So this is a hollow spherical cavity and there is a small hole on it. So if any radiations enter through this hole will go through a multiple reflections and it will not get a chance to go out of the cavity and hence it finally absorbed by the walls of the interior. Therefore, we can construct a practical black body by taking a hollow metal cavity whose internal walls are perfectly reflective and it should have a small hole on its surface. So, the radiations that enters through the hole will be trapped inside the cavity and gets completely absorbed after successive reflections on the inner surface of the cavity. The hole thus absorbs all the radiations just like a perfectly black body. So you can say that this practical black body shows the similar behavior as that of ideal black body because all the radiations that it enter inside it is completely trapped by the walls of the cavity. Therefore, you can say that all the radiations incident on the practical black body is completely absorbed. So this is your practical black body and the whole of this black body completely absorbs all the radiations just like a ideal black body. So this practical black body need not to be of spherical shape, it may be of rectangular shape also. You can take a rectangular cavity whose interior walls are made of metal so that it could be a perfectly reflective and you can make a uh, small hole on this body so when the light will enter, when the radiation will fall on this hole, it will be completely absorbed by the cavity because after a multiple reflection the radiations will be finally absorbed. We are now in a condition to discuss spectral distribution of energy in the black body radiation. So far we have seen that a practical black body can be constructed by taking a hollow cavity whose internal walls are perfectly reflective and which has a very small hole on the surface. Radiations that enters through the hole will be trapped inside the cavity and gets completely absorbed after multiple reflections on the inner surface of the cavity. In this way, hole absorbs all the radiations. Now let's assume that if the walls of the cavity is in thermal equilibrium at temperature T, then it will absorb as well as emit the radiations. Therefore, the radiations that leaves the hole is just like a black body radiation and this hole behaves as a black body emitter. We can analyze the black body radiations emitted by this cavity by using some spectral sensitive device like spectrometer. This is the plot for spectral distribution of energy of a black body radiation. Here U is the intensity at frequency nu and temperature T, and here, so this is plotted with respect to frequency, and here intensity distribution is plotted with respect to wavelength. Okay, as you know now, nu is equal to c by lambda. So this is the how the, if you change the nu with lambda, how the uh, shape of the graph changes. So let's see this graph. Here u is the intensity, and here on x-axis it is the frequency. So you can see that as we increase in frequency, the spectral intensity first increases. So it is increasing, then it attains the maximum, and after that it starts decreasing. And also you can note that for a hotter body, so this is the radiations for a temperature T1, and this is the radiations for temperature T2, and we have assumed since T2 is higher than T1, so we can say that a hotter black body radiates more than a cooler black body. Similarly, if you further increase the temperature, then the total radiation emitted by the black body increases. One more thing that you can note here, that in this graph you have a peak at frequency nu1. Similarly, for the plot for temperature T, for the radiations for temperature T2, the peak is at frequency nu2, and for the plot for temperature T3, the peak is at frequency nu3. So you can say that as we increase the temperature, the frequency at which intensity is maximum shifts towards the higher frequency side. It means as you increase the T, nu also increases. Nu, what is nu? Nu is the frequency at which the intensity is maximum. Now look at this graph again. Let's see what conclusion can be made. These are equivalent. Na? The one is plotted with respect to nu, that is frequency, and the other is plotted with respect to lambda, that is wavelength. So here you can see that at temperature T1, intensity first increases, attains the maximum, and again decreases. As you increase the temperature of the black body, the intensity increases with temperature. Okay, so here the intensity is something, as you increase the temperature, intensity further increases and it attains the maximum, and after that it starts decreasing. So here you can see that at higher temperature the peak is at lambda 3, and at lower temperature of a black body radiation, if a black body is at lower temperature, the peak is at lambda 2. So you can say that the peak, the wavelength at which intensity is maximum shifts towards the lower wavelength side. So let me write the conclusions that we have made from the spectral distribution of energy in black body radiations. So these are the analysis of spectral distribution of black body radiations that we have just discussed. So these are the experimental observations. These are the experimental observations. Now there are many theoretical explanation has been made by the various group to describe the black body radiation. For example, in classical physics, first you are already familiar with the Stefan Boltzmann law. Stefan Boltzmann law, okay. Then so Rayleigh-Jeans law, and Wien's law. So using the classical physics, these are the laws established by the various groups to describe the characteristics of black body radiations. So these laws were made by using the classical approach, classical physics, okay, and also using the quantum physics. Using the quantum physics, there is one explanation was made by Planck's. So it is called Planck's law. So these are the theoretical explanation for the origin of continuous black body radiation. We will discuss each one by one. Stephen Boltzmann law is an empirical relationship obtained by Stephen and later it was derived theoretically by Boltzmann. This law states that total radiation emitted from a black body at temperature T is proportional to the fourth power of the temperature of the body. And if you remove the proportionality constant with equality, then a constant comes, and this is called Stephen's constant. Stephen's constant. So according to Stephen Boltzmann law, total radiation emitted from a black body at temperature T is proportional to the fourth power of absolute temperature of the body. Here sigma is Stephen constant. So if you look at these plots, you see that as the temperature increases, intensity means in radiation emitted from the black body increases. Okay, this equation says that as the temperature increases, the radiation emitted by the black body should increase. So here this theory is able to explain the experimental observation that as we increase the temperature, intensity increases. Now another theoretical explanation was made by Wiens. So let me write the Wiens law. So according to Wiens law, lambda maximum is equal to 2.8978 into 10 to power minus 3 by T meter Kelvin. Okay, so Wiens displacement law states that the peak wavelength, so lambda max here is the peak wavelength, means the wavelength at which the intensity is maximum, is inversely proportional to the absolute temperature. So lambda max is inversely proportional to the temperature. What is lambda max? Lambda max is the wavelength at which intensity is maximum. So as you increase the temperature of the black body, the wavelength at which intensity is maximum should decrease according to the Wiens law. Now let's see the plot here. So here in this plot you see that as you increase the temperature, the intensity, the wavelength at which intensity is maximum is decreasing. So as you increase the temperature, wavelength at which intensity is decreasing. So somehow it is also explains some of the observations of the black body radiations.